Hey there, I'm Jackie Ferris. Merry Christmas from the 302. We are going to be celebrating for the next half hour by jumping aboard the Wilmington and Western Holiday Lights Express. It's an experience the entire family is going to enjoy. Get ready, the 302 is headed your way. We are here at Wilmington and Western getting ready to go on the Holiday Lights Express. I'm joined by Kevin Martin. Kevin, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, welcome.
So let's talk a little bit about this. This looks like a lot of fun.
Yes, this is our annual lights train. We run this for most of the month of December. And it is just an enjoyment for the kids to see this many lights, not only on our train, but also the homeowners on our line will decorate the back of their houses with holiday lights to be able to share that experience with the children and the family.
So we're going to hop on in a little bit, but I want to talk about the decorations. What does it take to get the decorations on this train?
So everything you see here tonight took volunteers coming in between 6 p.m. and midnight for about 3 to 4 weeks. In some pretty cold temperatures, getting on top of the coaches and stringing the lights, but they love to do it and they come every year to be able to share that excitement.
So in addition to the outside, you guys also decorate the inside,
We
right?
do. We have some garland and lights throughout the coaches. We have LED lights on the ceilings to represent Christmas themed colors. So it's a lot of work that goes on to put these trains out every year, but it's well worth it when you see the faces.
Now you guys have 2 steam and 2 diesel. What
Correct.
are we talking about here?
So on our train tonight is locomotive 8408. That is one of our diesel locomotives. It is a first generation diesel, and actually the uniqueness to 8408 is it's only ever run on the B&O line, which this line was one. So it's never known anywhere else other than here.
Now, a lot of your trains have a lot of history associated with them. So talk to me a little bit. You gave us a little bit of a preview of the history of this one, but tell me just about the historic significance of what you guys have here and continue to preserve.
So the line itself was here since 1872. It started as freight with the mills up the line and getting all that product to the port of Wilmington. Over the years, it has kind of slowed down with that, and at one point was abandoned by B&O just for not being profitable. And so a founding member of the Wilmington and Western, Tom Marshall, got together with some of his friends and really wanted to purchase and save the line and promote steam. And so they purchased and fundraised and bought the line, and now we own all 10.2 miles of track, which goes from about Marshallton, Delaware to Hocassin, Delaware. All of our trains are historic, so the coaches that will be on tonight were built either between 1914 and 1915, and even the cabooses date back to the 30s and 40s. So all of our equipment is not modern, and that's not a bad thing. We want to be able to preserve that history and show our passengers what it was like traveling on this line back in the 1900s.
Now you guys have been doing this for almost 58, 59
Somewhere,
years.
Yep.
The mission of educating and preserving, it must take a lot of people to do this.
It does. Our mission has always been to preserve and educate not only railroading history, but also the history of the valley and what would have been here back in the 18 and 1900s. And it does take a army of volunteers, and we have always used volunteers. It was something that our founding member, Tom Marshall, really wanted volunteers and for their enthusiasm. And we have everyone on the train crew tonight will be a volunteer. Even the engineer who's running the train will be a volunteer. And so for us, we think that shows their dedication and that their enthusiasm for trains just spills out over them when they interact with our passengers.
Absolutely. What a great job to be a part of the crew, to, string the lights and look at the faces of the little kids as they're getting ready to depart.
Yeah, and I always say, I was here earlier today doing another train that we have. It's a long day, but it was definitely worth it when they all get excited to see a special visitor that was here this afternoon on our trains, and even tonight when they see the lights. It makes the work and the long days worth it.
So when we're talking about the Holliday Lights Express, how long is it?
So the total round trip is an hour. So it's 30 minutes up and 30 minutes back. And while you're going through that trip, you will see lights decorated on the houses. You will see some of the lights that we've put up just throughout our line, and just experience the line in a different way.
It's just a magical Christmas adventure on a train.
Yes.
Absolutely. How many times have you been on it?
More than my wife would like to admit. I'm here a lot. I go on it a lot. I do enjoy it. Yeah. It's why I work here. It's what I enjoy about our business. I'm on it at least 5 to 10 times a season, whether it's working or just stopping over, jumping on, and enjoying the train and the passengers.
So Kevin, we're gonna take a deep dive into the trains and into the Holliday Lights Express. When we return, we're gonna hop on board. Stay with us.
I'm Nick Sarator. I'm the Exhibition Director for the Rehoboth Art League, and you're watching the 302, your source for art and entertainment.
Welcome back. We are now on the Holliday Lights Express and joined by Kevin. Kevin, this is amazing. So talk to me a little bit about what we're seeing. Now, you've put up some of these lights, but you mentioned that folks decorate for this ride.
So every year we invite people that own property that is on the back of our line to decorate their houses. We get anywhere from about 30 to 40 houses or properties that decorate. It's become competitive in a healthy way. We give everyone a thank you for doing it, and they get tickets on the train, but the developments have become competitive in who gets voted, win first place, second place. And you'll see as we go through some of the developments, it gets very competitive, and they up the ante every year, which is exciting for our passengers. They get to see something different. So it's just a different look and a different way to experience the train. And we are always trying to figure out ways to get people on the train to be able to just experience it once.
Now, when you sit here, you really kind of do go back in time, because this train is 110 years old.
Roughly, yes.
And all of this, or the most of it, is original, right?
Correct. So a lot of people have asked us over the years why we don't change from the seat you're sitting on, which is a wicker, to the vinyl that you see nowadays. Because the wicker is what would have been in this train back in the 1914 and 15. The mechanism that you're sitting on, the frame, is still the original frame from back then. We repair it. We do change the wicker over time, but we are trying to do everything we can to preserve the coaches the way they were, and for people to experience that.
It's going to be pretty difficult whenever you consider, sometimes you have to have a special part or something else. I mean, where do you get your materials to make repairs that, you can't do on site?
We hand make a lot of our, especially in our mechanical shop, if there's something on the coaches or the locomotive, they will hand make it, or they will find an alternate part. There's also times where we have to kind of go in a different direction and think of creativity in a different direction on how we want to fix that part. I can tell you the wicker, which we have to order that from overseas. It takes about 6 months to get to us after we order it. And it takes about 8 hours for one of our volunteers to fix one of these seats.
It really is amazing. And there are specialty cars, is that right?
Yes, correct. So we have 3 cabooses that on any one of our trains we do have at least one caboose on that people could rent for parties of about 15 to 20 people.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
It is. It's very, very busy with, or very, the children like it for birthday parties, stuff like that. Then we have the parlor car, which is rented for larger parties, 30 to 40 people, office parties. A lot of people come every year back this time of year to have their family holiday party. It becomes a family tradition.
So, and every time someone rents or every time someone buys a ticket, that money goes back into the mission of preserving and educating folks about the trains.
Correct. We are a nonprofit, so all of that money goes directly back to us. And not only that, we have made it our mission to make sure that we keep our ticket prices reasonable for families to come. We want people on our train. This is not, for us, it's a passion, and we want to make sure that people have that opportunity to get on board, and that's why we really try to keep our prices at a level where families of 4 can get on and enjoy these holiday lights, or just come on a Saturday afternoon in the summer and enjoy a Yorkland Limited ride.
And who knows, maybe some of these passengers today are future volunteers.
We do have a camp that we run for 2 days in the summer, and at least 3 of our trainmen went through that camp and are now volunteering for us.
Did you go through the camp yourself?
I did not, no. No, I started here in December of 19, so this is my first experience with railroading, not something I grew up with.
So a lot of people are so used to getting in their cars and checking out Christmas lights. This really is a unique way to do it.
It is, and it was something that for us started very small. We just used our Doodlebug, which for those people who aren't aware, it is pretty much a coach that has its own engine. So it doesn't need a locomotive to go up and down the line. It was designed for lines that, for branch lines like this one was back in the day. They didn't need a whole train. They didn't have that many passengers. So they would use these smaller versions. And it started off as that. Then it moved and got popular, and we went to 2 coaches. And then COVID happened, and we had limited spacing and distancing, and it went to 4 coaches. And now we're selling out every train.
So what is it about a train that's just so magical?
I think for a lot of the children, and what I hear from them, is that it's just something that they don't experience nowadays. They don't see that. And I think every child has played with a train, whether it's a steam or a diesel, whether you're a boy or a girl. Like, you have some form of a transportation toy with you. And this allows them to really see what it was like and to experience what they only see in books, or they only read in books and see on TV and maybe learn in school, right in their own backyard.
Now you have the holiday lights, but you also have a Santa Claus Express, right?
We do. So during the day, on the weekends in December, we do have a Santa Claus Express where Santa Claus is on the train, and he visits every family, takes a picture with them, and the kids get excited. We have a Santa Claus that he has been coming to our railroad, luckily, for 12 years.
Wow.
We had to send a letter to the North Pole to get him here, but he does make a special stop for us every year.
Now we're going to enjoy some of the lights, but when we come back, we're going to go to the Caboose and check out the Holiday Lights Express from that point of view. Stay with us.
This is Kristen, curator at Rockwood Park and Museum, and I love sharing our historic Christmas here on the 302.
Oh, this is so cool! Welcome back. We are now in the Caboose.
Yes.
Kevin, this is a really cool section of the train. We have these benches here with tables, but I mean, what happens here traditionally?
So a little history about the Caboose first is that the cabooses were the conductor's offices, so they would be on freight train. So this is an office for practical purposes back then. We've turned it into a place where about 15 to 20 people could rent it and have a family get together, an office party, kind of anything. A lot of times we have people rent them at Santa and Holiday Lights, and they come back every year, and this is their tradition.
Wow. So when you rent this space, so it's for an hour, right? It's there and back?
It's for as long as that train ride is. So for tonight, it's an hour. You can bring your own food, drink, anything you want, cake. People bring everything on board, and they have a little party for the trip. And it's private. The only other people on board would be the crew that have to be on board.
It really is cool. Whenever you go out onto the platform, you really get a sense of, you know, peace as you're watching the train go by the lights, and it really is an amazing space to be in.
Yeah, we always joke around that when you're on the train, and especially if you're working it and you look at the passengers, you can count how many of them have fallen asleep on the way back. Just because of the rhythmic nature of the train and the sounds, it's very easy to just fall asleep due to the peacefulness.
Now, while we're looking at Holiday Lights on this train ride, you have other train rides throughout the year. One that I think is pretty interesting, on Valentine's Day, you have a special train, is that right?
Yeah, so every year on Valentine's Day, we try to do something. It changes every year. this coming year in 2025, we will believe we'll have some kind of spirits and chocolate train that you can buy tickets and just come out and enjoy it. It is an adult 21 and over train, but something that couples or even just brothers and sisters, anyone that wants to come out and have a good time on Valentine's Day. Doesn't need to be couples.
Who doesn't love chocolate and spirits?
That is the best combination right there.
So, but for kids, there are events throughout the year, right?
We run a wide range of trains. Some of them are just your typical, what we would call a Yorkland Limited. Goes up to our picnic grove. You can bring a picnic lunch and eat there. We also run character trains such as the Easter Bunny train, princess trains, Santa Claus train this time of the year. We run a wide range in an effort to get everybody interested in coming on board the train. I always say that if I can get someone on board and we just teach them one thing about the train, then that was worth their time being here, and we've done our mission.
So what is the most frequently asked question you get?
Other than, is this a diesel or a steam locomotive, which we get a lot, our number one question is, how old is the equipment? And is this really what it would have looked like back then? They just don't believe it.
Now, what are we hearing?
So what we're hearing is what we call the peep whistle. So right now we're going through a private crossing. So instead of blowing the full horn, we are blowing a peep whistle to allow people to know that we're coming through that crossing.
So this is the second time that the 302 crew has been with
Yes.
Wilmington and Western. And I'm not sure, this isn't the train that we were on last time, I don't think. So how do you decide what trains do what events?
In terms of what locomotives do what events?
Yeah.
So this time of the year we run mostly diesel, and that is because of just the schedule and how much we're putting it out. Steam does take a lot of effort to put on the line. It takes about 6 hours of manpower even before departure time to get a steam locomotive to the station.
Wow.
And so for this time of night, that's hard to bring crews in and have them here for long days. It also allows us with the cold to be a little more frequent.
So bringing those folks in,
Yes.
I know
That's
that
that's the wonders of the train world.
there's going to be some people who are going to be watching this who are going to say, I want to volunteer. And I was surprised to find out that you can be on a train so quick as a volunteer here.
Yes, if your desire is to be on our train, we will start you off as a trainman, which is the people that board the passengers, punch the tickets, assist in case of anything needed by the passengers, answer questions. You can start that right away and be trained all the way up to engineer. We can certify our own engineers, brakemen, all of that.
So you heard it here. If you have a love of trains, this is the place to come.
Yes.
Absolutely.
We will get you on a train and you can experience it firsthand.
So if someone wants to find out about how to be a volunteer or how to donate for that matter, I mean, do they go to the website? What do they do?
If they want to be a volunteer, they can simply go to the website, wwrr.com, fill out an application, and our volunteer program manager will get back with them, schedule an orientation, and get them on their way to getting on the train or working in the shop or however they want to give their talent and energy to us.
Excellent. And you have an amazing gift shop where folks that are riding the Holiday Lights Express can get trinkets and souvenirs to remember their time here. And we would just want to say thank you for spending time with us a second time around.
It's always a pleasure to have you guys come and visit.
Fantastic. And we'll be right back. '24 has been an amazing year for the 302. Here are some other things you might want to check out. For more information on any of the events here at Wilmington and Western Railroad, you can visit wwrr.com. Now, make sure that you follow us on Facebook so you can get behind the scenes content you're just not going to get anywhere else. And also check us out each weekend on MeTV2, aka WDPN TV in Wilmington. We're going to wish you a Merry Christmas and hope to see you in the new year. Until next time, I'm Jackie Ferris. Tell them you saw it on the 302.